Well, I'm back today. 2 live video days in a row. How exciting. I just wanted to read you this blurb this morning. She's really starting off October awesomely with this stuff about worth. So listen to this. Here's what it says. How long are you going to hold on to the things that are not working for your best interest? Things that are not fulfilling, things that are no longer productive? How long are you going to deny yourself, your feelings, your power in order to meet the demands and expectations of others? That's huge. How long are you going to overdo, overgive, overindulge, trying to convince yourself and others that you're worthy? That's huge. That this is what I see in 95% of the people that call me for therapy. Perhaps today is a good day as any other to let go of others and grab onto yourself. Huge. People don't even know the difference between them and others because they have become so enmeshed because of these systems of belief. Perhaps today is the day that you will find the courage and the strength to start being worthy, right? When she says start being worthy, I also read a very religious, very much written by a priest thing this morning that I posted about we already have worth. You can't attain it by doing more, by becoming certain things, or by having certain jobs, or by people's approval. It's you just have to be worthy because you are. But this is talking about detaching from others. So others, if you start to claim your own worth and value, others aren't really going to like this. I call it kicking and screaming because that's what they'll do. They'll kick and scream and bitch and moan and piss and complain when you actually claim your own worth and say no, set boundaries, and stop over giving in order to get them to think you're worthy. Right? The reason why they would piss, moan, and complain is because they're running by the same belief system that is completely unhealthy, that you have to earn your worth and that the more you give, the better off you are. And it's something that I've, heard a lot of people say it's better to give than receive. You think it's some kind of virtue when really you're draining the shit out of yourself and you're not receiving anything back. So what happens to a bank when they give out all the money for all the loans possible and they don't receive anything back? They no longer are a bank. You will cease to become a person and an individual if you continue to give and give and give. And you think that that's good? And another reason is because you want to avoid feeling emotion. You want to avoid them backlashing at you and them seeing you as selfish, or you're being seen as a bad person or rude or cut off or shut off. You're worried about being seen like that. Why? Because it brings up a certain emotion in you of what? It starts with a G. Come on, let me hear it. Guilt. Guilt is one of the biggest things that I see people want to avoid, so they continue to do for others so they don't feel guilty, so they're not seen as a bad person. So are you really giving out of the kindness of your heart? No. You're giving from a selfish place that is just to feel better about yourself, just to avoid emotion. And other emotions that can be uncomfortable is if they do think this of you, and they think, oh my gosh, she's such a terrible person, she's selfish. What are you then fearing? You're fearing rejection. You're fearing lack of love and lack of belonging. You're afraid that that's going to be taken away. Even though you accept shit from these people all day, every day, and you completely deny yourself to fulfill their needs, they still love you and they still come to you, which then makes you feel worthy. So you are still getting your worthy fix. It's like a fucking drug from other people. Stop doing that. You have it all within you. Say no, set boundaries. Feel the pain that you're going to experience of whatever it is they're going to say about you and know that that's not true. You're actually doing the loving thing because guess what? That love and belonging you thought you were getting from them people by doing isn't love anyway at all. And you haven't been truthful. You have been giving from an inauthentic place. That isn't what you really want to be doing, so you're then a liar. And you're not showing them who you really are for fear that they won't love and accept you. You want to mold yourself into whatever it is that they think that you think that they need or want to be or whatever the case is. And that's not love. They're not loving you. You're not loving them. None of that is love. You see what I'm saying? It sucks to hear this, and it's not easy to change. But if you're loving yourself, you do not need approval of anything and anybody else. This is not easy. I've done it, and I've had to sit with the feeling that people think I'm shitty, people think I'm rude, people think I'm stuck up, people think I'm too spiritual. I don't fucking care, because what I'm doing is loving them by loving me, by being me. I'm giving them love, and I'm sending them love, and I'm praying for them, and whatever the case. If they want to be involved in my life, they usually come into my life or back into my life after they've worked out this own issue for themselves, their own insecurities, their own issues with worth, their own shit. And they'll be back if it's meant to be, but you have to be able to let go. You have to be willing, W-I-L-L-I-N-G. I have to be willing to feel these emotions and to disappoint others and to let them feel whatever they're going to feel. By you not changing, you also keep people in a prison, and you enable them from feeling any of these things. So then therefore you prevent them from changing and growing as well. Not only are you holding you back, and you're miserable, and you're drained, and you're overgiving, and you're sad, and you're all this stuff, you're preventing them from doing anything different as well. And what happens when somebody finally finds their courage and their strength and their voice? Sometimes they overdo it and they just tell everybody to fuck off, right? And they tell everybody about themselves and how horrible they were and how everybody drains them. That's bullshit too. Yes, it's freeing for a minute, but that's bullshit. You take responsibility for what you haven't been able to do. Sit with it, be angry, be upset, get it out, but don't take it out on others. Sit with it and eventually come to the conclusion that I have been 100% responsible for not telling my truth, for not knowing my truth. I have been responsible for fearing that others were going to leave me, abandon me, and reject me. I have been responsible for putting my worth on the outside circumstances and putting them in the hands of other people, and not in myself and not in God. God lives within you, and the more that you go without you and outside of you, the more farther you go away from God. So you're praying in a church, and you're on your knees, and you're giving, and you abandon self, you've abandoned God. Because the Holy Spirit lives within you, right? I don't care if you're looking at Christianity or you're looking at spirituality, it's the same. They're going to tell you the same fucking thing. Have a wonderful weekend.